I have talked in length in several of my videos about the microbial life upon Earth, the bacteria, viruses, and parasites, and most importantly, the eternal struggle for survival between the human beings and these microbes. This is especially when I have talked about my third English novel, Sutra Symbiotics, which deals with a theme, the same theme, the struggle between the human beings, the immunity of human beings, and these deadly microbes. These microbes are there for millions of years upon Earth. They have come much earlier than us. We are only a newcomer for a few thousand years. And there may be trillions of species of these microbes in the extraterrestrial world, in the universe, which we don't know. Now, when we come in contact with a microbe, our body comes in contact with a microbe with which we have not come in contact, we just become helpless because our body does not know how to fight it. When our body comes in contact with a virus, become successful in the fight, then we become immune. Our body recognizes or keeps in track that virus and remembers that virus forever, or the bacteria forever in that regard. And when for the second time or multiple times it returns to our body, the body has an ability to fight against this. This is in a nutshell the immunity. Now, it can be acquired by the exposure to the disease, by vaccines, or it may be a genetic immunity. Now, this COVID pandemic has caused havoc because we didn't know the virus before. So the body was not prepared. Body did not know anything about this virus. So the immunity was not there. So there was a huge catastrophe. Now we are in a very serious situation now. These microbes which are already there, which even we know are constantly modifying themselves, and they are becoming more and more resistant to the known antibiotics. One of the example, a deadly example, is a methicillin-resistant staphylococcus, and that has made many hospitals a dangerous place to visit. For example, I always prefer early discharges of my patient from the hospital because I know that there may be these kinds of microbes lurking in the corners of hospital, and we work every day through these corridors. We doctors and nurses may be probably a little bit immune to these, but someone who has not gone into the hospital environment before may come in contact with these microbes, this multi-resistant microbes, and it can be very, very serious for him or her. So, what is the answer for these constantly modifying microbes? Then we have to discover and come out with newer and newer antibiotics to which that microbe is never been exposed. Now, this is a job of the pharmaceutical companies, but pharmaceutical companies are becoming less and less interested and more reluctant to come out with newer antibiotics because this costs a lot in the research, and when the product comes out, they want to sell it in a high price to just recover the cost of discovering and manufacturing that unique chemical molecule. Doctors, on the other hand, becomes reluctant to use such an expensive medicine. They rather go back to the normal antibiotics, the older antibiotics, which are still cheaper. So the pharmaceutical companies have found that this is a loss game. So they would rather produce blood pressure medicines for diabetes, for anemia, for constipation, which are daily used in millions of prescriptions, and that will recover their cost. They are reluctant to research and come out with expensive molecules. So the advantage goes into the microbial world because they already know the previous antibiotics. They are modifying themselves to become resistant against these antibiotics. And if newer antibiotic won't come, there would be development or a a microbe or microbial organism will come out, which we would call a superbug. A superbug, a super microbial organism which would be resistant to all the known antibiotics. It would be deadly for human beings. So would you ask me, would everyone would die? No, a chunk of human population would be wiped off, because none of the medicines will work in this case, in these attacks of superbugs. But as I have predicted in Sutra Symbiotics, there would be some people who have extraordinary natural genetic immunity. They will fight and they will win. And if there are still people alive, scientific people alive, then they can try to make a vaccine from the blood or the plasma of these individuals, taking on the immunoglobulins they have produced against these bacteria. That's a far-fetched thing. Any day, the scientist is predicting that a superbug will emerge, and that would be deadly, devastating, much more devastating than the COVID pandemic. So we need to come out with newer antibiotics still. If you like this video, please like it. And if you like these kinds of videos, please subscribe my channel. It would be a great help for me to produce. Come on, continue producing these sorts of self-awareness and medical awareness videos for you.